educate, empower, enable, impact. Thank you for tuning in to That Will Never Work podcast, where we share inspiring information and personal experiences related to business and the entrepreneurial journey from those who are leaders in their respective field. Now, here's your host, author and business coach, Maurice.
Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you very much for tuning in today. You know, one of the things that has been on my mind as we move forward, in this year is adjusting to what's going on. There was a time when we had to come up with topics for, let's say, these episodes for the podcast, or we had to write our books, if you will, our any type of literary accomplishments or literary writings, or even trying to draw something. These things that we used to have to do on our own to become creative now has changed, if you will, to a place where, I'm not sure where things are going. So the question is, are you able to adjust to what I'm talking about in a moment? You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Have you taken the time to pay attention to where your industry is going? I'll give you an example. As many of you know, I used to work in customer service. And at that particular time, you call in, you had gotten someone. So I don't know how it's set up now where I used to work in customer service, but just calling customer service in general, you used to call, you would get a live person. Now, all of a sudden, it's the hardest thing for you to get a live person because you have to add in your account number or your telephone number, or because you've called many times, the caller ID recognizes your phone number or your IP address. And, once you call in, now you have to press 1 for this and press 2 for that, or please hold. And then if you don't get the answers correctly, you still do not get to a live person. It could go round and round and round, and then it hangs up. So in that automated phone call, have you been able to adjust to what's been going on? If you pay attention to the car industry, and as they speak about just something like the car industry, where robots has taken over the manual labor piece. So now, for those of us that are in another place, being a creative, a thought, a business leader, a thought-provoking individual, whatever it might have been. Now, even some of that work has been removed, if you will, by this stuff called AI. You can go into these websites and ask the right questions and ask the right prompts, and you come out with a relatively okay, book, or a relatively okay piece of art. And here's the reason why I say relatively okay. Yes, it gives you the book. From my experiences, it gives you the book writings or the book art. But I think what happens is it does not provide you the human element of anything. And what I mean by that is, from an art perspective, You can look at a piece of art and you can see the imperfections. You can see maybe where the person had um, uh, painted this, picture, and maybe have walked away, and then they've come back because the pressure that they've now applied in that particular space is not the same as when they left it off, because of they were tired or whatever else. They might not have been pressing as hard, versus you full of energy, you come back, you press a little harder. Even when you are trying to write a book, and the individual has written this book, and you could kind of tell sometimes where they have, again, begun and ended, because sometimes the ideas doesn't flow the same, or whatever the situation is. So my question to you: how do we continue in our space? How do we utilize these to our benefit? And you can. For an example, the I've been looking at a lot of YouTube videos, and they speak about how to create your books, and how to utilize AI to draw your pictures for your books and things like that. For those of us who are not creative enough to do that, and it's hard to find um, someone that will do that for your budget at that particular time. And now let's understand budget, right? Your budget is not cheap. Let's be real. Let's not be cheap about the work, and respecting that person's time and energy, and understanding that their cost of studying, preparing, practicing, and getting into that space, that mental space, to complete your project. Let's not take that into a place of not being appreciative, of not acknowledging that person's skill, their God-given talent. And so, the feeling that even though you can write the prompts as best as you can using AI, it does not always give the personal feel of an individual creating these things. That's why I'm saying to you, appreciate the individuals that are trying to do the work for you. If you contract something out, appreciate what they're doing. But you can use AI to get your point across. So are you adjusting well to what's going on? Are you adjusting to the times? Because also, just on the other side of that, you are the one who's creating that stuff, and now AI has taken over your position. Are you able to utilize AI to create or help enhance, or can you take what they have created and you help enhance it? Whether it's shading from a picture, or utilizing the textbook writing, and infuse a little more feeling to it, to infuse that human element that sometimes the AI does not provide. So we can use it to help answer questions, to come up with topics for the podcast, things like that. But we still need to utilize our human element, our touch, if you will. I believe that the pandemic showed that we are still a personable group, where we still want human touch. We still want to speak to someone. We want to be around. We want to party. We want to gather. We want to eat, eat dinner together. Whatever it is, we're still a personable group. Utilize that to your advantage, being the AI. So I hope today you are adjusting to what's going on and not pushing against it. Thank you very much for listening.
Thanks for listening. Find us on social media at Chisholm Group LLC and check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, that will never work, or will it?